Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Christina, and in today's video, I am going to be sharing with you a February recap and a March homeschool plans and goals video. I'm so excited to chat with you today. February flew by. I say this every single month in these videos, but February truly flew by. Yes, it's a shorter month, but it's only by a couple of days, and it feels like, how is it March? How? As I'm speaking though, I'm laughing because it's March 1st and there are flurrying around outside my big window that I am sitting in front of right now. And it's really pretty, but it's funny because most of the snow recently melted this last week while we had fake spring, and now we have some flurries happening outside. So anyways, let me know what the weather is like where you are. Is it warm? Is it cold? Does it get cold where you are for winter? We're in upstate New York, so it gets freezing and we get a lot of snow. So I'm interested to see what happens for the month of March. February was a doozy. There was a lot of amazing things about February, and then there were some hard things about February. I shared in a video last week just about being tired or burnt out or discouraged or going through a hard season as a homeschool mom. So if you need some encouragement, definitely go back and watch that video. I also shared the other day a day in the life video, which is a very rare occurrence on my channel. I don't film them often because I don't like to film our whole day, and the editing takes forever and all of the things, but I do really love seeing other families' day in the lives. So I thought I would share one because it has been a while since I've shared one. But let's recap February, what February did look like. So some things that we continued with throughout February is we are still reading the Little House series. So we've continued on with that. We are still reading the Answers Book for Teens, Volume 2. We're still going strong with that. We've been reading this worldview book with my older two boys who are 13 and 17, what we believe, what they believe, and why they are wrong. It is very dense. It is a lot. I would definitely say this is junior, senior level, maybe even freshman in college, but I have actually learned a lot and we've had some really good discussions. So we're continuing with that. Something else that we actually started new in February and finished is Little Pilgrim's Big Journey by Lathos Kids. I had seen them around for a while and had been meaning to try them, and I just love the Pilgrim's Progress. And I also love that they made a beautifully illustrated, abridged version that is very accessible for younger children. It is hardcover, canvas wrapped, gold embossed, beautiful. Just a beautiful book that I will love having on my shelves for years to come. So we read through this entire thing. We read a chapter per night during our family, we call it family time, but it's basically we talk, we pray, we read either the Bible or a devotion or both. Sometimes we'll do a read aloud, and then we'll listen to some worship music, and then that's bedtime after that. So I did this. We actually did some notebooking along with it, and we definitely picked back up with some notebooking this past month. We didn't travel a ton. I'll talk about that in a minute, but it was actually really good because we were dealing with some tough things that really, it was helpful for us to kind of be grounded and rooted and home. And my husband had some extra time off, which was a blessing because his presence is just helpful when we're going through a tough season, his extra presence being around. So we did some notebooking. We also ended up getting the audiobook of this, which was really cool because then my kids went back through and listened to all of it while they were notebooking, and that was really cool. So I went ahead and I ordered the book 2, which is Christiana's Journey. I just got it in the other day. We have not started it yet. It's still wrapped up, but I am really excited because they loved the first one. And so we're going to do the second one, but also what I got for them, and I just placed another order the other night, so I'll have to share that when it comes. I got these coloring books for them, and they're so beautiful. They're way nicer than I even expected. They look like the sketches from the actual book, the actual illustrations, which is so cool because the illustrations are so good. So I absolutely love this. So what I actually did the other day, so I'm just going to give these to them and just let them have fun with it. I got 2 regular ones, and then I got the other one. I got the pack. I forget what they called it, but It comes with the coloring book itself. It does have a little bit of a different cover, so hopefully they don't fight over that. But then it also comes with stickers, which I thought was really cute. And this is really cool. This comes with a map from the book. So you can follow the journey all the way from the city of destruction to the celestial city, and like all the places that Christian stops along the way. So I thought that was really cool. And it's like not paper, it's like I don't know, it almost feels like a vinyl. So this seems like this will hold up really well, which is cool. So I got that. And then 2 nights ago, I think it was, I actually ordered all of the coloring books for book 2, because what I actually thought would be cool for them, I wish I would have thought of this ahead of time, so I might hold off. I think we're gonna wait to start book 2 until those other coloring books come in and just let them like explore with these, have fun with these. And then when the other coloring books come in, let them color while we're reading the chapter. I think that would be really fun for them. So I wanted to share that. I do have a 10% off code for Lithos Kids. Actually, the other thing that I got, I'll grab it and show it to you really quick. The other thing I got was the Legacy edition of the full Pilgrim's Progress, and I got this for my 13-year-old. He read a different version of like Little Pilgrim's Progress, but wanted to read the full version, and this one is so beautiful because it still has these gorgeous sketch illustrations, all of these scripture references on the side and vocabulary, and it is just so beautifully done. So he's really excited to dive into this. He's been asking, and so when I found this version, this Legacy edition, he was like, yep, I want it. So I love that they have stuff for older kids and younger kids to access the same stories, the same classics. They also just came out with like the Man Soul Chronicles, which is the version of the Holy War by John Bunyan, which I think was his second book, or at least his second most popular. So we'll probably explore those too. Like they have so much stuff we want to get, but I'm trying not to spend all my money. So I wanted to share those with you because it's something we started and finished in February, but we're also going to continue with the future books and the coloring books. And I just love how it follows what it's like to be a Christian on this journey in life, and all the different like distractions and discouragements and all of the different things that can come your way and how you overcome them. So I thought that was really, really cool. I tried out a new homeschool planner, which is the Peaceful Homeschool Planner by the Peaceful Press. It is a beautiful planner, and I really wanted to use it, but I think I am so used to my planner from For the Love of Homeschooling that I went back to it. It's just like, I'm used to it. And I'm not a great like planner person. So for me to like learn a new planner, get used to a new planner, maybe another time. Like I have it digitally, so you never know. Maybe in a different season. But for right now, I went back to my For the Love of Homeschooling planner. I print like a couple months at a time. They have different cover options. So each time I print it, I usually do a different cover. So I went back to my tried and true, and this actually is free as part of the grab bag in the For the Love of Homeschooling 2025 virtual conference. Early bird access ended, but you can still purchase it at the regular price through the end of the year. So 30 inspiring speeches on a variety of different homeschool topics. I shared very vulnerably about where we're at in this season of life and homeschooling in my speech, which was patiently pursuing your children in every season. But there is such a wide variety in there. There's a grab bag that has tons of like unit studies for kids and resources for parents and homeschool planners and all the things. So I will link that down in the description box below if you want to check that out. And that is something I wanted to share about February, because alongside a kind of hard season, I really was encouraged and inspired listening to the other mothers who were speakers in the conference share, and just to be able to like sit down and listen and be inspired and encouraged and know that like I'm not alone in my struggles and all those things was a huge encouragement to me. So other things that we started. So I had initially planned on starting our Middle Ages curriculum for history, and I was blending two, Gather Round Homeschool and Beautiful Feet books, and I still plan to do that in the month of March. What I actually ended up doing was taking a break from history and instead trying starting the Intro to Psychology unit from Gather Round Homeschool, and I'm so glad that I did. Like, we had just finished our Ancient Civilizations unit, and I thought like it made sense to just continue on, and then I was gonna wait on this, but I've been wanting to do this for years with my kids, ever since it came out, probably since before it came out. And we finally started it. We're about 7 lessons in, and I love this. It is so good. We did the health and the human mind unit from The Good and the Beautiful, which I feel like was a really great foundation for like laying groundwork for the brain and the senses and all of those things. But this really goes deeper and into more detail in terms of psychology. So really, really loving this, and I can't wait to continue with it. And probably in the next week or two, we will start our middle ages curriculum now that we've like really got a solid foundation in that unit. And then we'll just kind of alternate so that we're not overwhelming ourselves. Another thing that we continued with for my 5 and 6-year-olds is the preschool course book from The Good and the Beautiful. Now, some people might do this at 3, some people might do it at 4. I am not a huge proponent of early childhood education. There are a lot of reasons, but pushing too strongly in academics too young can actually have the adverse effects. And so we do a lot of learning through play. And so I am completely comfortable that where we are curriculum-wise, knowing that my children are getting so many more opportunities to learn. They're listening in on lessons with their older siblings. They're playing school with my 9-year-old daughter who like plays teacher with them all the time. There's just so many different ways that they're learning. And so we are very close to being done with this. I have a reason for sharing this. And we are actually going to be starting definitely this month because we've probably got like a week, maybe 2 weeks left with our preschool curriculum. We're going to be doing the kindergarten prep course book, and this is only 30 lessons. So I'm really excited to do this with them because I feel like they're going to really feel empowered. Like, yes, we got done with the preschool, we got done with the kindergarten prep, but before we even finish the preschool and before we even start the kindergarten prep, I am actually going to be starting math level K with my 5 and 6-year-olds, because what I have found is that they seem to be ready. So the math that's in the preschool curriculum, maybe they're a little bit beyond it. It's like too easy. So usually like we skip right over it. I let them quickly tell me the answer because they are excited that they know it so easily, but they are definitely ready to get started on math level K. I'm super excited because they have been wanting the math box for like ever because their older sister has a math box with her math curriculum. So they've been asking. So I did get them both their own course book. I got them both their own math box. So they will have their little math manipulatives and they are going to be so excited. So this week we're actually going to start this. And so I wanted to share it with you because I know a lot of people are getting curriculum for next year and trying to decide what to use and all the things. And The Good and the Beautiful math is just so beautiful. It is open and go. It is really solid and engaging. I love the manipulatives. I love the little games that they include, and it just makes it really fun for kids. So I am personally very excited to start this with them. And then like if it's at the beginning is super easy and then we need to slow it down, that's fine too. But I looked at like the first few lessons and I'm like, they can totally do this. We do not need to wait for this. That's the beauty of homeschooling. Like you don't need to start a curriculum at the beginning of a school year, at the beginning of a grade level. You can assess where your children are at and if you need to speed up or slow down or whatever it may be. So I'm excited about that. I actually just did a math curriculum picks video last week. And so if you want to see what we're using for math for all of my children next year, go ahead and check out that video. They just actually came out with, I will tell you this, pre-algebra. So Math 8 pre-algebra is a brand new level that they have never had at The Good and the Beautiful. And last year they did like the level 7. And so they're staying like just ahead of where my 13-year-old needs curriculum-wise. So I'm like, keep going. So I don't know about if they're doing level 9 or how far they plan to go. But I do know right now that I'm really excited because I have his next curriculum for math on deck. We do not need to switch curriculums, which I am so excited about because it works so well for him. I love that for levels 4 and up, they have video lessons so they can be engaged with the lesson in an interactive way that is also like very independent. And then K through 3, it's a parent-led lesson. And I like that too, because I feel like at those ages, I want to be super involved, super hands-on. And so really excited to get started with this, really excited about their new level that they just came out with. And so if you are looking for math, I will link The Good and the Beautiful down in the description box because we love their math. Love it. One more thing, I think this is the only thing that will be starting new. I'm trying to make sure I'm not forgetting anything, but we just got and printed the Good Gospel, which is by the Peaceful Press. We haven't used a Peaceful Press unit in a while. If you've been around for a while, you know that we've used quite a few. We've used like their Peaceful Preschool resource. So that's another thing. Like we used that before the Good and the Beautiful Preschool. We used a lot of different like preschool resources, very like gentle, play-based, literature-based, project-based resources before that. So that isn't like their first exposure to like learning letters and numbers and all of those things. So that's kind of like a good point to think about as well with those. But we have not used anything from Peaceful Press in a while, and so I'm really excited because one question that I get asked so much, like one of the top 5 questions I would say over the years is like, how do I teach my children about Jesus? How do I teach my children the Bible? How do I teach my children about God? Like, where do I start? I don't know enough myself, or I know it, but I don't know how to teach it to my kids. The Good Gospel is literally the answer. So the Good Gospel is a year-long curriculum, an A to Z Bible resource for young children. So it incorporates letters. So there's a letter a week, going through the whole alphabet and going through the full gospel from Annunciation all the way through resurrection and ascension. So I'm so excited about this because for those of you that feel like I need a year-long Bible curriculum for my younger children that is going to help them understand Jesus, help me understand it, and it is so beautifully done. There are readings every day and prayers, and there are art studies. So you look at different beautiful pieces of art. Like here is Jesus alone on the cross. So this is week 24, so towards the end of the year. But I am not using it as a year-long curriculum. We use so many Bible resources. I don't feel like we need to spend that long on it, even though I'm sure they'd have fun because it has all these different hands-on activities and memory verses and key truths and all these things. However, they just released their Lent reading plan. And so that is how we are going to use this. So the Lent reading plan takes this year-long curriculum, the Good Gospel, and incorporates it into a reading plan that starts on the 5th, on Wednesday, which is the first day of Lent, and goes all the way through to the day before Easter, so Holy Saturday. And it is a combination between doing the readings, the weekly readings as like a daily reading, and some picture books. So it incorporates good literature. It incorporates songs and doing watercolors and prayers. There are videos in here to the Bible Project. That's another really great resource, especially for a little bit older kids. The Bible Project is amazing. Even for adults, the Bible Project is amazing. It's like animated and narrated, like in-depth summaries of the Bible, but in like a way that's really easy to understand. So it also has links to that. And so this is how we plan to use the Good Gospel curriculum, and I love that you have the option. So you can use it as a year-long curriculum, or you could use it as your Lent plan, or you could do a similar plan like this. Like if you're seeing this well after when you would start this for Lent, you could do the same thing where you're doing it for like a shorter period of time, following more of this schedule. So I'm really excited to do this with my kids. I hope you guys are excited. For those of you that might be looking for something like this, maybe you use the Good Gospel year-long next year with your preschooler or your kindergartner or even your first grader. Like they don't need to be learning their letters, but there is like a letter a week for kids who are learning their letters. But you could totally omit the letter of the week part, and it still is just going to walk you through the gospel with those variety of different ways of engaging it that I mentioned. So I do want to share with you the one place that we did travel in February, which was the Vermont Lake House. Now, for those of you that have been around, you may remember the Vermont Lake House because we actually went there in the summer and we had so much fun paddleboarding and canoeing and swimming in the lake and just having the best time. And we went back in February and the lake was frozen and we got to ice skate on the lake and have fires and hot cocoa in the fire pit. overlooking the lake, and the moon came out after the sunset, and it was just like such a dreamy winter stay. So that was really, really fun. We had such a great time. We can't wait to go back in maybe like the fall because it's just beautiful. So definitely check out the Vermont Lake House. It is such a beautiful place to be. I think probably every season, because fall must be breathtaking. Spring, I'm sure, is beautiful, and highly recommend it. So I will link the Vermont Lake House down in the description box below. If you are looking for a Vermont getaway, definitely check it out. For the month of March, we have no travel planned, and I am actually excited about it. I feel like we are kind of in a season where we need to regroup, we need to kind of lean in, we need to settle, and I think that's a good thing to know the season that you're in. At the very end of the month, like I'm talking the last few days of the month, myself and my oldest, again, are going on a trip, just the two of us, and I am so excited about it. I'm not going to tell you all the details. I will be sharing it later on, but it was such a perfect, I don't know. When it came up, I was just so excited, and it was just like, we need this right now. We need this. My oldest is a senior. We've gone through a lot of changes this year. We've had some challenges this year, and I feel like this is going to be a really special trip. As hard as it is for me to leave all the other children, I'm sure I will freak out beforehand and I will miss everybody terribly, but I just really felt like it was a meant to be sort of thing. So be on the lookout for that. I'm super excited to share about that. But other than that, unless things change, like we have a Wild and Free group meetup at the end of this week. We're going to go to a maple syrup farm, and just in the last couple of weeks we started at a new church, and so like we definitely are in a season of like regrouping, getting grounded, putting roots down in some areas, and then I'm excited to see where things go from there. So let me know what plans you have for March, if we have any similar plans, if you've used any of the resources that I've shared. If you have any questions, put it all down in the comments. If you're new here, introduce yourself. I love to get to know you guys and hear from you guys. And I hope to see you soon in one of my next videos. Until next time, stay rooted.